Namo Amitabha Buddha. Hello everyone. So I received a comment about how to overcome greed. So before we become enlightened, it's probably not possible for us to completely extinguish our default mental states. But what we can do is to bring them under control. We can at least transform them when we are aware of them. So for Nianfo practitioners, what we can do is to recite the name of Amitabha Buddha repeatedly, and we can transform all our thoughts into the name of Amitabha Buddha, into infinite light and life, which resonate with our own Buddha nature. So again, we are reminded of our own Buddha nature is actually infinite light and life. And remember that all thoughts, all emotions that we experience are simply emptiness in nature, which means that they do not have a fixed permanent nature attached to it. They are all impermanent. So we should just treat them as they are instead of being identified with them. So your thoughts of greed are actually not the real you, and you should not identify with them, and just transform all these thoughts of greed and all kinds of negative thoughts into the name of Amitabha Buddha, into infinite light and life. Now, it may not be so easy at the beginning, as we may have the habitual tendency to think negatively or to be greedy. So it really comes with practice. The more we recite the name of Amitabha Buddha, the easier it is, the quicker it is for us to transform all our negative thoughts into the name of Amitabha Buddha. And gradually we can transform our bad habits and negative thinking. And another way the Buddha taught us in the sutra to help us overcome greed is also to practice giving. So we may be greedy of material possessions. We may be greedy of the things that we want to have. So the Buddha teaches us that we can practice giving by giving out our material possessions. By giving out more, the less we will be attached to what we may own. And remember that all things are still just impermanent in nature, so we should not be attached to them. And the more we give, the less we will be attached. So by practicing giving, by practicing generosity, can also help one to overcome greed. Now, when one practices giving, one also does not need to be attached to the act of giving and what we may get in return. So in the Diamond Sutra, the Buddha says, a bodhisattva practices giving without abiding in any notion whatsoever. So a bodhisattva simply just performs the act of giving without being attached to anything. And in that way, one will also not be greedy of fame. Some people may practice generosity, but then they may be greedy of the fame they get from cultivating good deeds. They may think, oh, I'm so generous, I give so much. So this is also a form of greed. But if you can practice giving without being attached to any notions, including the act of giving, then this will really help you to overcome greed. Of course, it's easier said than done, as maybe if we have formed the habit of greed for over a long time and also carry from past life's karma, then it may be even more difficult for us to change this habitual tendency. But with determination, with persistence, with perseverance, one can do anything. If you really practice Nianfo diligently in your everyday life, then you will become more and more aware of your thoughts. Then you can quickly transform them into the name of Amitabha Buddha. And also, the more you practice giving, the less you will be attached to your own material possessions. And eventually, you may find it to be so natural, and you can give without expectation. And this can also help you to overcome greed over time. So I hope this helps. Namo Amituofo Buddha. Namo Amituofo.